at a magnificent, very famous female leopard with her 2 cubs. I tell you, I can't explain to you kids how excited I am for you. This is a wild African leopard with her 2 7-month-old cubs. Look how beautiful they are. And they're playing at the moment. They're also keeping a keen ear open because Karula, she got some food for her babies yesterday, and she hunts. So you know what? Sometimes the bush is a little bit harsh, and we might find it a bit harsh, but all the animals have to eat, and these animals are carnivores, so they eat meat, and they can eat anything from. They also can eat insects sometimes when things at times are tough. But leopards are probably the most adaptive cat in Africa. Now, when I mean adaptive, if you don't know what that word means, ask your teachers as well. And habitats is just places where the animals live. Food is available, like bigger things like impala or different antelope. They'll always, and they've had a big feed on that. They've got full bellies. But and she, as I said, is a very, very famous leopard. This is just the best. Isn't that beautiful, guys? Just magical stuff. So this is what we do out here. So we've got a question from Nick Stark in Lupus Garden School. Welcome aboard, guys, and thank you very, very much for joining us this morning on this live safari. And you're looking at Karula at the moment. You want to know what leopards eat. Well, just sort of carrying on from what I was saying, they have a very, very broad diet. They can take anything from, a small reptile, or even been known to eat crickets in some parts, to right up to small giraffe. I mean, there's been some incredible footage of that in some parks very close to here. So they eat a broad range of things, but mainly their prime food around here is antelope. There's an antelope called an impala. There's another antelope called a kudu, a young one they probably take. There's also some smaller antelope called duiker and steenbok, and also warthog. So, there's a food chain that works. These are called an apex predator. And for people that aren't sure what that is, and if you're not doing that at school at the moment, then the teachers will explain to you what that means in simple terms. But if you are working in right up in the top end of your biology, apex predators are the predators that are at the top, and then there'll be a food chain that occurs right down underneath those apex predators. And then you might be also wanting to maybe design a food web at school together, and that might be a really great thing to do with your class as well. So thank you very much for your question, and that's what leopards eat. But wow, what a sighting we have here on our beautiful leopard. And she is just so beautiful to see, and she's so comfortable with us. Now that's something else, kids, that I want to explain. Why don't they run away? They don't run away because we are no threat to them. They are very comfortable with us. This leopard here has known us for over 10 years, and she is very, very comfortable with us being here and her cubs. But she's sitting there keeping a close eye out, and those cubs were born on the 2nd of February this year, so I can't quite see where they are. Brian, do you think we should move forward a little bit, mate, and have a look? Mr. Root in Gilgandra Public School, how cool is that? Gilgandra, you're watching a live safari. Great to have you. Give us a shout out. Oh yeah, we heard that from Africa, that's for sure. Fantastic to have you on board, Mr. Root. A great question. How old are they? Karula is about 12 years of age, and the cubs were born on the 2nd of February, so that's really cool. The cubs have gotten to 7 months of age, and that means that there's a really, really good chance that they're going to survive, because sometimes the cubs can fall victim to other predators, which is quite sad, but at the same time, it's part of life in the bush, and at this age, there's a good chance, but she's also a fantastic mother. Mr. Root and Gilgandra Public School, welcome aboard. We're just going to reposition so I can see if I can get some pictures of the babies for you. It's okay, my girl. Just going to drive over here. I think the cubs are just down in this little... Okay, whilst we're doing that, I'm going to reposition because it's a bit noisy. We're going to go over and see someone very, very special. Jamie Patterson is on bushwalk. We'll see you just now. Well, welcome back to Karula. And kids, I wanted to show you this. I think it's really important that you see how that food chain works. And Karula has gone down to the kill that she made there. And you know what? You might find it a little bit sad here and there, but you know what? It's a very, very important thing that we all understand how that food chain works and how that balance of nature is. So what she's doing there, she's got an impala that she took for her youngsters last night to feed them. And she's just covering it at the moment to try and hide it. One of the youngsters has just walked up to her too, which is really cool. And then she's just giving her a little bit of the baby's playing with her. But I just think it's really important that you see that the natural world happens right before our eyes here in Djuma and in Sabi Sands in South Africa. It happens in your habitats as well, wherever you are in Australia or anywhere else in the world. Animals have to eat, and that food chain is a really, really important thing. So as soon as we take something out of that food chain, lots and lots of other animals are affected. So that little baby leopard is just having a little bit of a sniff around and wanting to have some food, having a bit of a play. So his mum was covering it up because she wants to keep that food there for the babies and make sure no other predators. Now, if anyone can send us an email, one of the schools watching, maybe send us an email, tell me what another predator you think might come and take that impala away from the leopard. Let us know and tell us what you think. Got another question coming through in my earpiece from Ross in Camaray Public School. Welcome aboard again, guys. Thanks for watching. Ross, you want to know what other predators or leopards may have? Well, there's animals that definitely are threats to leopards, that's for sure. And I would say, not in any particular order, but they are hyena and lion. Also wild dog, African wild dog, and if you haven't seen one of those before, have a look up online or maybe some pictures in some books that you've got and check out. Those three animals are the main threats, and they can also be very, very a great threat for their cubs, but they also have a tendency, particularly hyena, steal kills. Now, the leopard, out of all the cats, has one trick up its sleeve, and they can haul their kill. That animal, they could haul that up into the tree and stash it up there, and no other animals can get it. And that's one of the advantages that leopards have, and one of the reasons why they're so successful. They can adapt to so many different environments and hauling their food up into a tree. The reason why it's on the ground there is because she wants to keep it down there for the cubs to feed on. But great question, Ross. Thank you very, very much. Are they still down there, Brian? I think they are. We've got a question from Miss Kylie in Nora Public School. Miss Kylie, I think it is, in East Nora Public School. I think that's what it is. And you want to know Nora Public School. Is it Nora Public School? Sorry, I'm just getting my message. Yeah, Nora Public School. I do. Sometimes when it comes to stealing the prey, lions will steal the prey, the kill from the And, oh, look at that, beautiful. But also hyena will do it as well. So we're looking at a leopard at the moment, and this is Karula, we know this leopard very, very well, and she's got her cubs down there. But Miss Kylie, they will have a tendency to keep a very, very close ear and eye out to make sure that hyena or lion don't come and steal that. But sometimes wild dog will do it as well. But she's kept it down in this, what we call a little gully, or a little dry creek bed down there, and the scent wouldn't be travelling as much as it would be if it was up here on the higher ground. I'm just going to try and reposition our car so Brian can get a better shot of her. Let's just move forward a little bit. I've got a question from Mrs. Ran in Gora Khan Public School. Please excuse me if I don't pronounce the names of your school correctly, but we'll do our best. And your question is, sorry, let me just move forward again. I've just lost, oh, it's a bit tricky there. Brian might be able to get down through there. Can you, mate? I'm coming to you, Mrs. Ran, I promise. Can you see that? It's a really tricky position for us. I just get the question again, please. I do apologise. Okay, are leopards endangered, Mrs. Ran? I'm going to have to go back where we were, bro. I'm sorry, mate. Mrs. Ran, I'm sorry. I'm just negotiating the landscape here to try and get a better picture for you. Are leopards endangered? Well, look, leopards are not endangered. They're probably the most successful of all the cats, but there's some areas that they're probably threatened. I'm just looking for a better shot for Brian here. Is that the best you're going to get, mate? It's a long way, isn't it? I do apologise, folks, but Brian's going to zoom in on that as much as he can. Leopards in some areas would be definitely threatened, and there's particularly leopards in some other parts of... Leopards occur right throughout Asia as well, Mrs. Ran, and maybe you can look that up as a little project about where leopards do occur. There's going to be leopards in pockets of Asia that are definitely threatened and endangered, just because of, well, maybe you could also research that, but I'll give you a couple of hints to why leopards in some areas might be threatened, and that's normally due to habitat loss, and that's one of the most important things we have to learn about. And maybe your class can do a little project about habitat loss and see why some animals do have great threats from their habitat being taken away from them. So that's why protected areas like where we are right now, and protected areas in Australia and all over the world, are so important. But Mrs. Rand, thank you very, very much for your question, and welcome aboard. So we're just looking at this beautiful leopard here right now, Karula and her cubs. She's got her babies and that her food down there that kill in a very tricky position. Now she's moving off, and she might go into a spot where we get a better picture. We'll just wait for her. The kids the little ones are playing down there. And I'm going to try and... The little ones are playing beautifully. I just got to try and get into a better spot. So her still looking after this meal that she's got for her cubs. Now, if any of your classes want to do a little project on food chains, that's a really, really good thing to do as well, which we talked about before. And you'll have a look at... See whether the leopard is at the top of the food chain or at the bottom of the food chain, and you tell me. But you also need to get back to me, if anyone can send us an email, about what animal you might think could be a threat to Karula right now that might steal that food from her and her cubs. Let us know if you can. And the first school to get back to us, we can give you a little shout out live here from Africa. Isn't this fantastic? So while we're watching Karula here, we're going to cross back live to Brent because he's got some really, really cool creatures that got in our way a little bit this morning, and I'm sure he's going to tell you loads about them. We'll see you just now. Well, our friend, our beautiful girl here, Karula, has moved into a much better... Oh, what's that? That's my little friend, the thumb. Look at him. There he is. He's coming across the bottom of the screen. Yep, that's the little guy I wanted you to look out for. He's going to make an appearance every day for the next 4 days. There he goes. He doesn't come out for very often. The thumb. We've got Karula sitting here, folks, and I'm just so glad that we found her for you, and we've had a fantastic morning with you. Thank you all so much for watching. Jamie is great. She's so incredible. Her knowledge is incredible, and just on Bushwalk, to think that that's live, coming to you live from Africa, and Brent with those Ellies, how wonderful. So great news to have you all on board. There's the little cub. And just to give you a bit of information, it might be a great project for you all to do as well. Find out about how long different animals are pregnant for, or how long it takes for them to have their babies. Now, you'll find some really interesting things if you compare the carnivores to the herbivores, and maybe you can do a little bit of research and do a project on that. So the leopards we have in front of us here, they're pregnant for about 100 days. So you know what? After 100 days, those little babies come out, and they're only about 400 to 600 grams. So that's about, I don't know, the weight of about 3 oranges. That's how much they weigh when they're born. Now, the cubs are then hidden by the mum for about 6 weeks, and she puts them in either a cave or a little thicket or something like that. And then she sort of moves them over different places over time. And then their eyes open between 6 and 10 days of age. And then they can start to eat meat after that. And then after about 3 months, they don't drink milk anymore from their mama. And they start to eat meat, and she brings them to the food that she kills for them, and then it all happens. They start getting bigger and stronger, and then they start to become big leopards. So it might be really good to do a little project on that as well. So really important stuff to find out how these animals work and their habitats and where they live. Now, I've got something really special to do. We had a little idea that we were going to give shout-outs to schools that are watching this morning, so I want to be able to hear. Right. Well, that was really good fun. Really super fun. And some of the schools may be just going now. Their bell would have gone at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Australia. And thank you all the other people that are watching from all over the world, and how, thank you for understanding that that's such a special thing to do for kids. And we're back with you now on our regular... Well, I don't know if there's such a thing as regular drive, because every drive is different, and every walk is different. So I just want to thank everyone that was listening, that wasn't at school, for listening to the way we spoke, and we got messages across there. So back to our regular sort of chat about this beautiful animal, and so many people welcome aboard if you're a first-timer to Safari Live, and also for all our regular Safari Live viewers, great to have you back on board. So if you've just joined us, we're sitting here with Karula, one of our most famous leopards here in Djuma and Arathusa and Cheetah Plains, and also in Sabi Sand. She's very well known, but she's got 2 cubs with her who are playing around at the moment, just out of our vision. We're in a very tricky spot here to get pictures, and Brian's doing an amazing job. We're doing an amazing job getting the pictures to you. We're going to stick with her. Brent Leo Smith and Jamie Patterson are with me this morning, and Brent is on drive and Jamie Patterson is on walk. So I'm going to cross over to Brent and see what he's up to. He's always up to something, and I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. We'll see you just now. Well, we've come back to this beautiful, beautiful leopard. Karula is just laying there surveying the scene. Her babies are just about to come up and pounce on her. I think we're going to see something lovely just here. Oh, isn't that great? Perfect timing to come back, folks. Isn't that great? Her little 7-month-old cubs. Gosh, that is just fantastic. We've been waiting here for this to happen. Exactly what is happening. Some of this maternal care is what I always love to see. And she's definitely a top mum. She's got 2 cubs and she's moving down back to where that kill is that she's stashed. Here comes the other cub now, Brian, just down the same location. So that's fantastic to see. How beautiful are they? And this little guy's going to stalk and pounce on his mum and his brother or sister. I can't quite make out who's who of the two. There's a male and a female. And just watching mum and other sibling play, and I think there could be a little stalk on. There's a very, very dangerous cub there. We've got a question from Lou Butterfrog. Questioning my favourite baby animal in the bush. Well, yes, I do actually, and I have to tell you it's elephant. Baby elephants are just incredibly funny to watch and wonderful to be around. And if you've got a comfortable herd, a breeding herd, with the females are comfortable with us being in their proximity or in their presence, it is really lovely to see the little baby elephants. But thank you very, very much, Lou, for your question and welcome aboard. We've got at the moment we're with another beautiful cub or beautiful baby, and that is one of Karula's cubs. And he's just watching his brother or sister play with his mum down. We can't quite see. It's down in a drainage line or a dry creek bed down there, and she has stashed the kill that she made yesterday morning. She hasn't put it in a tree, and the reason for that is she's got it down there for her cubs to eat. It's quite difficult for Brian to see. I'm in a really tricky spot. I'm sort of torn between two lovers here. I can just see a little bit of interaction happening down there, but I've also got this beautiful vision of this other baby up the top, this other cub. So when this other little cub goes down and has a bit of a pounce, we might reposition ourselves. But look at that. That is just a miniature version of his mum. Absolutely beautiful, 7 months old. And I don't know if you caught the drive earlier when we were talking to the schools, but I sort of compared the weight of these little guys when they're born, and it's about, I really apologise about my conversions here, but ounces to grams. I'm going to try for about 600 grams is about 20 ounces, roughly. So about the weight of 3 oranges, when they're born. That's a big cub, or biggish cub. But now they're getting up to some really great size and getting some great condition on them as well. Got a nice question from Linda. He's moving off now. We might just reposition. But Linda, your question is, how long ago was the first time that I met Karula? Well, it was back in 2014. I met Mr. Q, Quarantine, the leopard, the male leopard, well before I met Karula. But then I met Karula in that same stint here, which was the 2014 Big Cat Live, Big Cat Week, here. And she's just incredible. She's just one of these leopards that so habituated, so conditioned, so tolerant of us and knows that we're no threat to her. We've seen her come through with her cubs. We've seen ups and downs. We've seen so much with her, and she just tolerates. Last night, I'm not sure if you were watching, but I had the privilege of having a bit of a warm-up drive for today, and went out with the team, and we were just sitting over here, Brian and I, and we were sitting in a location where we were well away from her, and she decided to scale the tree right next to us. Now, we would never go that close to a leopard in a tree for fear of disturbing her or whatever, or changing her behaviour, but she came to us. So she was at our eye level of only about 15 feet away from us. It was a major, lovely moment. I'm going to try and reposition for us. Thank you for your question. So it was about 2 years ago, but many of you watching know Karula much better than I do and have been with her ever since she was born about 12 years ago.